Namaskaram. Portraying Vinayak Damodar Savarkar's life is a challenge because he was a person with multi potentiality and many exceptional talents. He had accomplishments of the highest order across his talents, a true all rounder. He was a powerful orator, patriotic speaker, poet, debater, writer, thinker, a hub for Indian nationalism, a critic, historian, journalist, and one of the greatest revolutionaries that Bharat had ever delivered. He was all this at the same time. But this video is only an attempt to give a brief sketch of the revolutionary Savarkar. Savarkar was born in Nasik on 28th May 1883. He was a frantic reader even when he was a child. His poems started appearing in Marathi publications from the age of 10. By the time he had completed the matriculation, he was very popular in Maharashtra through his powerful oration and poems. In 1899, when Savarkar was just 16 years old, he, along with his brother, started a secret revolutionary organization called Abhinav Bharat. Abhinav Bharat spread across western and central India and produced hundreds of revolutionaries. It was Savarkar who was the first one to start the Swadeshi movement to boycott foreign goods. This was in 1905. He was only 22 years at that time. Gandhi and Gokhale was not in favor of Savarkar's Swadeshi movement as they thought that it is against the policy of non-violence. In fact, Gandhiji accepted the Swadeshi movement as part of Congress party after 17 years. After completing BA from Ferguson College in Pune, Savarkar made up his mind to study law in London. His application for the scholarship was recommended and forwarded by Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Savarkar reached London in 1906. He continued his revolutionary activities there. Soon after reaching London, Savarkar established an organization named Free India Society and brought together around 700 Indian students who were studying there. He was operating from the India House at that time. He established contacts with revolutionaries from France, Germany, Italy, Russia, Portugal, and US. He started carrying the message to seek their support for India's freedom struggle. He started purchasing weapons from them and secretly sending them across to India. Savarkar also started a manufacturing unit for making arms and guns in a secret place little far away from London. He started training Indians in London with the help of European revolutionaries in guerrilla warfare. Savarkar got Indian revolutionaries trained in making of guns, a revolver, and bombs by the Russian revolutionaries. A bomb manufacturing manual was translated from Russian to English and secretly shipped that to India. Subsequently, an young revolutionary of Abhinav Bharat in India shot the district magistrate of Nasik using a pistol that was sent from England by Savarkar. In connection with this, Savarkar was also arrested in London. Savarkar was taken to India for the trial. When the ship carrying Savarkar was sailing near the French port, Savarkar jumped out of the ship, squeezing his body through a small hole in the toilet. French police caught him and handed over to English. British court in India sentenced Savarkar for 50 years of imprisonment in Kalapani. He underwent undescribable torture in Andaman. His jail uniform had a letter D, meaning dangerous criminal. I will describe the torture that Savarkar underwent in Andaman jail in my next video. By 1920, pressure was building on British government to release Savarkar. Vithalbhai Patel initiated a demand in the Central Legislative Assembly demanding the release of Savarkar. This demand was supported by Gandhi and Tilak. So after 11 years of torture in Kalapani, Savarkar was brought to Yerwada jail in Pune. He was kept there for 4 years till 1924. After that, he was in house arrest for the next 13 years. Finally, after 27 years of one of the most inhuman imprisonment of judicial history in the world, Vinayak Damodar Savarkar was released from the jail in 1937. However inhuman those tortures were, Savarkar was unmoved. It was Savarkar who first invited world's attention towards India's struggle for freedom. It was Savarkar who declared the 1857 struggle as the first war of independence. It was Savarkar who first shaped a national flag for India that was waved in a multi-international conference in Germany. It was Savarkar who got the rarest of the rare imprisonment of not one but 2 lives, a total of 50 years, for his love for Bharat Mata. It was Savarkar who convinced Netaji Bose to leave the country and fight with the help of England's enemies. It was Savarkar who was the first one to start the Swadeshi movement. It was Savarkar who was the youngest Indian freedom fighter to start a revolutionary organization. It was Savarkar who taught Indian revolutionaries the philosophy of bomb. No other freedom fighter ever suffered a lifelong torture as Savarkar did. Notorious British authorities removed 27 years of Savarkar from Indian politics. If not, I am sure that Savarkar would have integrated the revolutionary movements in India. I am sure that eventually that would have resulted in Britishers transferring the power to the revolutionaries and not to the Congress. I am sure that our country would have stayed united as Akhanda Bharat without partition. On 26th February 1966 at 11 a.m., this divine light in human form breathed his last. Bharat Mata ki Jai, Vande Mataram.